Hello, welcome back or welcome to my channel. It's Sunshine Lorena and I'm going to be taking you through my physical romance TBR. So guys, yes, I have a big pile of books here, not as much when I took you through my thriller TBR, my physical thriller TBR. I will link, you can go and watch it if you want to. So there is less than that video, but there's still a considerable amount here that I'm going to take you through. So again, I have separated the physical ones away from my Kindle audiobook, Kindle Unlimited, Scribd, TBR, because otherwise this would be a really long video and I don't have the patience to edit that. And I don't know if everyone has the patience to watch something so long. So here we are, I'm gonna jump right in. I'm gonna take you through all of the physical romance books that I own and hopefully hype me up in the comments. Which one should I pick up first? Because I need to be hyped, guys. I need the hype. So let's just kick it off with Coho, and that is It Starts With Us by Colin Hoover. This is big on Book Talk, BookTube, Bookstagram, etc. Everyone's always talking about it. Now, I bought this quite a while ago, at least a year and a half ago, from the charity shop, and it's in quite good condition. It was only 79 pence, and I was like, yes, and I just haven't gotten to it. And I know so many people love it. The only Colin Hoover that I've read is Verity, which I know is completely different from the rest of her books. So I'm intrigued. I want to read this. I feel like I'm going to cry because I feel like this is one that makes people cry. And I know a sequel, or is it prequel almost, has recently come out, so I really do want to get to this one. But yes, I feel like I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry with this one. But I feel like people either are love her books or they just don't, and I don't know which side I'm gonna sit on, because I liked Verity but it wasn't 5 stars, so it didn't live up to the hype, so we'll need to wait and see. I do have another Colin Hoover book here. It's the last one on this TBR, and that's Ugly Love. I got this from the works in summer. It was part of some deals. It was a good price, guys. I couldn't resist. They literally had all of our books and I was like, I'm not gonna buy all of them because I don't know if I really like her writing. So again, I'm gonna cry. Both of these, I don't really know what goes on there. I know it's romance, it's probably sad. There's probably some trigger warnings in here as well. I just have that feeling, but I feel like I'm gonna ugly cry at Ugly Love, probably. Because I mean, the tagline here says an unforgettable love story that breaks all the rules. But yes, I'm gonna cry again. Big on BookTube, Book Talk, Bookstagram, etc. Everyone seems to love it. So these are the 2 big ones that I feel like I need to get to, and I will read them at some point. Let me know if I should start with those or if I should ease into some of these other ones, because yeah. Then I have The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. Again, I got this in summer at the works. We've got to love the works, cheap books, guys. You got to love them. But yes, I believe these are 2. It was a wedding, and they're the best man and the bridesmaid, or maid of honor, sorry. And I think they're siblings to the married couple, in the sense that I think the maid of honor is her sister getting married, and the best man I think is his brother getting married, but they do not like each other at all. And then there's some sort of food poisoning incident, and I think they were the only 2 that didn't eat that food at the wedding, so the only 2 that aren't sick. And then there's a honeymoon that's already paid for, so they end up going together on this honeymoon. I think that's why it's called The Unhoneymooners, and obviously some sort of romantic stuff is going to go on, but I think it might be a little bit enemies to lovers type vibes, and I love a good enemies to lover. I probably won't pick this up anytime soon because it's giving me more summery vibes. So late spring, summer is probably when I'll go for this one, because it just looks like super summery, Then the next one is literally the most beautiful book that I actually own. And now this is the whole collection of the Jane Austen novels. Now this binding, guys, is absolutely stunning. Let's just take a moment to appreciate it, because this is it's gorgeous, it's beautiful. Chef's kiss. Now, Jane Austen is obviously the OG romance writer, okay? She did the tropes before, all of these other authors that I have here, so she is the OG. I have read half of her books. I've read the first 3 in publication order, so Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, and Mansfield Park. I still have to read Emma, Northanger Abbey, and Persuasion. Again, she's a romance writer, so those are 3 books. I will get to them at some point. I attempted to read Emma last year, November, but it just wasn't the right time, because I feel like classics, you just need to be in the right mood. But I will get to Emma at some point, and the rest of them as well. But just my favourite book, my favourite covers. I'll get to them. Classics take me a little bit longer, but she is the OG of the romance genre, so we've got to read her full works. Then I have Where the Rainbow Ends by Celia Ahern, and this is on my December TBR, so this should be gone by the end of the month, guys. fingers crossed, that it will be read. It's also on my self-destruct TBR, so if it's not February, it's gone. I've only read one book by Celia Ahern before, and that is P.S. I Love You, which I have up on my shelves, which I do want to reread at some point. I believe this is told through like letters and emails and stuff, like a lot of back and forth. So it should be a super quick read. It's about these two friends. I think he moved away when they were growing up. He ended up moving, I think, with his family to America or something, and she remained in Ireland. And it's just an exchange back and forth, romance. Something's obviously going to happen. I cannot wait to get to it. It is annoying that this, and I see this every time I hold this book up. Why? Okay, guys, why do they make paperbacks in this odd size? It's super annoying. Just had to point that out again because it really annoys me. I then have The Time Traveler's Wife. Again, this is on my self-destruct TBR, so I need to get to this by like mid-February. So, you know, yeah, priorities. But yeah, it's a love story between Claire and Henry. But they meet when Claire was 6 and Henry was 36. And they were married when Claire was 22 and Henry 30. It seems impossible but true, because Henry suffers from a rare condition where his genetic clock periodically resets and he finds himself pulled suddenly into his past or future. In the face of this force, they can neither prevent nor control. Henry and Claire struggle to lead normal lives and is both intensely moving and entirely unforgettable. It does sound incredible. I've not watched the film yet. I do want to read the book first, but it sounds amazing. What puts me off is the fact that it is small writing, and it is about, it's over 500 pages, and that's what puts me off. But I will get to it. It does sound like it would be like an epic love story. And it's very unique in its premise and how it pans out. It's not rom-com at all, obviously, but I'm looking forward to at some point picking this up before February, because that needs to happen. So basically, January or the very start of February, this should be read. Next, I have Still Me by Jojo Moyes. I have Me Before You and After You on my shelves. I read those. It must be coming on 5 years. When it first kind of was quite popular. And this obviously came out afterwards. And then my friend was doing a clear out and asked if I wanted it, and I was like, yes. But the problem with this is I need to reread those other two. I do remember what happens in them, but it's not very fresh in my mind. And I feel like I need to go back to them, reread them, and I can get to this. This obviously continues on the stories we had in the other two. And yes, annoying thing is it doesn't match the colourings of the other two, but yes, I can't wait to get to this. I don't really want to tell you anything about this premise because it will give spoilers for the other two. But yes, the first one, oh guys, did I cry? The film is actually good as well. And yes, I can't wait to see how life pans out for our characters in this. And that's all I'm going to say. So the next two here I got in a book box, the Tea Time Bookshop box. My friend sent it to me for a birthday present, and I have it unboxed on my channel. I think it's a really good box, guys. I do recommend. Sometime in the future I will want to get another one, but you know, as you can tell from this video and like my other ones, I have a lot of unread books, so you know, we don't need to be adding to the TBR until we're reducing the TBR, you know. So the two ones that I have is This Beautiful Life by Katie Marsh and Broken Cups by Heather McQuarrie. And yes, this was like a romance selection, I believe. I don't know too much about these stories, but they're definitely not rom-com vibes. It is, you know, I think it's going to be a little more sad, maybe like a tear will roll down the eyes. But I'm looking forward to these at some point. But this one I know involves someone who is in remission from cancer. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to these and getting to them at some point. Let me know if you've heard of them, if you read them, because I've not seen anyone speak about them, so I would love to hear more about them. And then the next two I have here is, I thought that I should include books that I have in other languages, as in like Spanish or Italian, because I don't own other languages apart from The Alchemist, which is up there. But I tend to always put these aside out of my TBRs, but I really should include them because, you know, there's a lot. I know I don't read them at the same pace, but they're still unread and they should be in my TBR. So first of all, I have this one from Lauren Weinsterberger, Un Anello da Tiffany. So A Ring from Tiffany. Now, I remember reading this in English like years ago. It's from the same author who wrote The Devil Wears Prada, so I read The Devil Wears Prada. There was this one about the ring from Tiffany, and then there was another one, there was a third one, which I can't remember what it's called, but I bought this because I thought, oh, rom-com is easy. I bought this quite a few years ago in Italian, I'm not gonna lie. I was very optimistic at my level of reading. I bought this, does it have the date on this? I bought this in November 2013, guys, okay? Extremely optimistic about my Italian reading capabilities at the time. But yes, it's set in America. It is obviously about some marriage proposal. I can't remember the premise because I read it in English before 2013, so it's been a long time. But I thought it would be an easier read to read in a foreign language. The last one I have, the last book on this Romance TBR, is an Italian book, and that is Tre metri sopra il cielo, so it's like 3 meters above the clouds. And this one has not been translated into English, but it is translated in Spanish. Now, when I was living in Spain in 2010, 2011, it was huge, this book. It is YA. It was like massive. And I think because at the time they were doing their own film franchise, whereas in Italy they already done the films. But it was really big in Spain at the time. So I know the name from that. I also have it in Spanish, but it's an ebook, not a physical book. So it's not included in this TBR, guys. But yeah, it is YA. So the theory in my head when I bought this, again, it was, oh, I have the receipt. I have the receipt. Do you want to know what year it was that I bought this? So long ago that the receipt is basically faded. I might still have the, yeah, okay, this was October 14, so not as old as the other one. I think I'd realised at that point that, you know, I should bring down my estimations on what I could read in Italian, but I still haven't read it. But yes, it is YA, so it's like a teenage love story. It is Bambi, I think her name is. Oh, does it not have her name on here? Sorry, there's like a sticker that's like really in the middle of everything. Step and baby. I don't know how they pronounce it. And I think he's like a bad boy. I have watched the film in Italian like years ago, and I think I need to rewatch it because at the time my Italian capabilities weren't as good as they are now. But I think he's like a typical like bad boy. I'm sure he has a motorcycle if I remember correctly. I don't know if it's in the book or not. And she's in high school. I don't know if he's already left school. I can't remember. I know a little bit suspect on that age gap, but yes, I think he's a bad boy. And here it says about you know, like Romeo and Juliet, Tony and Maria from West Side Story, Ryan O'Neill and Ali McGraw and Love Story. You know, it's kind of comparing them to these like epic love stories basically. But I'm sure there's like sequels and things, but I will get to this at some point. I feel like I'll get to this before When I Knelt with Tiffany, because this is like adult, even though it's rom-com, this should be easier. And I feel like I've spoken about this for far too long now. But that's all the books that I own on my physical Romance TBR. Let me know if you have read any of these. Hype me up. Like I said, I need to prioritise Where the Rainbow Ends and The Time Traveler's Wife. But apart from those two, I'm pretty much open to when I can read these, so let me know. Yes, leave a comment. Let me know if you want to see any more of my physical TBR videos, or if I should do the ebook one, because there's a lot, guys. There's a lot lurking on that Kindle that I tend to ignore because I don't physically see them, so that would be interesting. But yes, thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you don't want to miss any other content, and I will hopefully see you in my next video. Bye!